I've just created a very short video here to explain the basic disassembly of a gearbox out of a Toyota Landcruiser HZJ 105, which I think this is the R151 gearbox, and there's just no information that I could see on YouTube or anywhere else online that shows you how these things come apart or what you need to do to pull them apart. So this one, I've taken the bell housing off and this front cover, which is very straightforward. But what you're looking at here is essentially the gearbox, and the transfer case just unbolts around here with the bolts around the circumference of the rear of the gearbox, and it all just comes away. And then there's some bolts that go through the middle of the gearbox, through here. And you undo those, and you get the front housing off, and then the rear housing comes off, and you've got your gear cluster inside there. I'll have a look at a video on all of that in the next one. But here's the transfer case over here. And it just probably the more complicated looking piece of machinery compared to the gearbox. But basically it's just a dry connection there between the back of the transfer case here and the back of the gearbox over there. And so it's just basically undoing all these bolts around here, and it just comes off. No sweat at all. There's a little seal on the back of the transfer case output on that side, or input, that needs probably a good idea to replace that. And then there's one on the rear of the gearbox itself that probably needs a good idea to replace as well. And on the very front, inside this little front cover, there's also a seal in there that needs replacing. The reason I've pulled this one out is because the car is crunching between second and third gear, so I suspect the third gear synchro ring is worn out, and you can only change it without crunching if you do it very slowly, so we're going to have a look at that. But that's it, that's your gearbox right there. Yeah, so hope that's helpful.